Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, the bare necessities, it's Bear Grylls. Newcastle Clown, it's Ramsey. And their team captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, blonde bombshell, Patsy Kensit. Geordie for sure, it's Millican. And their team captain, John Richardson. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, on average, British men spend £1,412 on an engagement ring? They would have spent less, but the grabby metal crane game at the fun fair kept losing its grip. 33% of Brits think Mount Everest is in Europe, which I'm guessing means it isn't. Bloody idiots. And 1 in 5 Brits has sent a racy text message to the wrong person. I once wrote an explicit text to my girlfriend's mum, but somehow I sent it to my girlfriend by mistake. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 3 most popular talking points. John, Sarah, Patsy, what have the nation been talking about this week?
Oh, it's the end of the world. It's the end of the news of the world. They're closing the news of the world just in case the allegations are true. It's a bit of a clue that they might be. It's a bit like saying, I can't be sure my flatmate was lying when he said he didn't drink the last of the milk, but I have had him killed anyway. But it's good news, isn't it? End of the news of the world.
It's always a bit dodgy when you walk in a newsagent and all of the newspapers have got the same story apart from one that's headline just says, look over there.
The thing is, it's got to a point now where paedophiles watching this scandal unfold can take the moral high ground. What I did was wrong, but I didn't phone up dead soldiers' parents. You know, that's how bad it is, and I think that they had no choice but to get rid of the news of the world. No choice but for it to go. But what's odd is that none of the editors are being sacrificed. And it's a bit weird, these editors who said, I didn't know anything about this. It's a bit like a butcher holding up a leg of lamb and going, what, they killed a sheep? I had no idea! This is disgusting!
Patsy, now, you've been in the tabloids a lot over the years. Have the news of the world ran stories about you?
Well, I stopped buying the papers about 15 years ago because...
Did you run out of money?
Yeah, I did generally stop because you can't start your day like that, you know, because it's... Even if it's not true or it's got some semblance of truth, it's not, you know, it's not healthy.
When it was famous people, when it was, you know, Sienna Miller and it was Jude Law, I think everyone sort of think, well, it's OK, that's the game that they're in. Yeah. When it's bereaved families and the families of soldiers, people go, well, they can fuck off. The question is how far.
Well, I think you put that very succinctly, and I can't really add to that, you know.
So how pleased are you today is really what I'm getting at.
I mean, it's, as you say, it's a dark day, I guess, for you know.
It's a dark day for evil journalists.
Jimmy, I mean, you know, I'm trying to be, you know, diplomatic about it. I mean, it's awful and it's right, but,
Don't be diplomatic. They shut it down. Fuck them. There's no news to do. So what do you think about Andy Coulson being arrested this morning?
It's an astonishing fall from grace for him because he was the Prime Minister's press secretary. Within a year, he's potentially going to court. And then the fun begins. If they've arrested him, then they have to do Rebecca Brooks as well. Because if he's as implicated as she is, so she has to be arrested as well. Unless there's some kind of old law on the statute books about ginger women. It's a funny old statute. A ginger woman is allowed to hack into your phone if she's a mile from St Paul's Cathedral. Incredible, we've discovered this old law.
Rebecca Brooks, there's already footage of her in the inquiry last time. They said, did you pay the police? And she went, yeah. And no one did anything then. I mean, how far do you have to go where she's on camera in front of an inquiry set up to find out whether she paid the police, going, yeah, I paid the police, yeah. I paid them loads of money and they told me loads of stuff. And they went, oh, well, off you go and carry on being a dickhead.
Cameron as well, Cameron's involved in it. He had dinner at Christmas, and they won't say...
He had dinner at Christmas? The man's a monster!
Oh, Jimmy, I hadn't finished the sentence. So you're the one looking stupid now.
I have no idea. Sorry, Sean.
He had dinner at Christmas in a tutu. He was wearing a tutu and he was riding a pig.
Stop it.
Yeah, flying a kite. So there, so I win. No, he had dinner at Christmas with James Murdoch and Rebecca Brooks. But they won't say whether it was Christmas lunch or not, which is quite significant lunch to have with someone, isn't it, of that power, just when this deal was about to go through. But they said they won't reveal whether it was Christmas Eve, Christmas Day or Boxing Day, which just sounds so shady, doesn't it? Why would you say, where did you spend Christmas? Well, I can't reveal that. I feel it would suggest I'm a bit too close to my family, and I don't want people to know that. But I don't know why they called it the news of the world anyway, because the last thing they were interested in was news from around the world. The only thing they were interested in was tits and bums and who's been near them.
I liked it.
Do you think that people who used to buy it for the tits would always say that they were buying it for the news, but now you're better off saying that I only buy it for the tits?
It's been shit for years, though, hasn't it? They've been hacking people's phones and going to every depth, and they still it's just crap. Like, and the reason it's crap is because people buy it because they give away good stuff. Like, if this weekend, if they said, we're sorry for what we did, but basically we've got Macaulay Culkin back to do another Home Alone film, and it's free in the news of the world, forgive and forget. Time to move on.
And if they offered everybody who'd been hacked £10 top-up on their phone? Come on. The last one, though, what's the headline going to be of the last one this Sunday? Something really innocent, like, British plum growers report bumper harvest. See pages 4 to 9.
No, man, without any advertising, it's going to be a postcard on Sunday. It's literally going to be all the advertisers have pulled out. They've all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, even EasyJet have took the moral high ground. A company that... Imagine that, a company that primarily just fires slags across Europe.
I think the people who'd be most pleased about this are footballers, because they can have a lie-in on a Sunday morning now. When the news of the world was around, they used to have to get up and get down the shops and buy every copy before their wife woke up.
I feel a bit sorry for Ryan Giggs. He must have got so used to having people around him all the time, and he'll wake up tomorrow morning and just be nobody outside his house. Hello? I'm still an arsehole.
Let's have a look and see whether the news of the world is one of the most talked about things this week. Of course. The news of the world have a massive scoop this Sunday, and they're going to use it to fill their paper with shit. Seanstein, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Kate and... Well, I don't know why they are, but apparently Kate and Wills have been in the news because they went to Canada. Yeah.
What do you mean, woo?
Well, the thing is that this country gets kind of semi-enthusiastic about it, but America go... I mean, it's crazy, crazy news over there. It's like the front of every magazine and... Huh?
America and Canada are different.
You sound exactly the same, Pet.
It's such a boring story. You've got the two most boring people in the world go to the most boring country. I'm sorry, but Canada is boring. Even their transvestites are women. That's how boring it is.
But I liked it, there was the Canadian pop star who didn't call him the Duke of Cambridge, she called him the douche of Cambridge.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And then and apparently William looked at her, laughed. Yeah. You can imagine him going, cut off her head.
Yeah.
He's so dull, he wouldn't. What he'd do is just goes, oh, like that. When you see Kate and Wills, you watch now, I was thinking, kick a moose or something. Kick a moose. Be rude to an Inuit, piss up against a totem pole, do something. Watching them, I just think...
You're wrong, they've got so many Brits who do all of that. It's good that somebody kind of, you know, they do it right.
I'm with Sean, I miss Prince Philip on these trips.
Yeah, I do.
It's like £1 million it costs to get them over there. £1 million to go to Canada. For £1 million, I'd want to be paintballing on the moon.
Paintballing on the moon would be difficult.
You spoil everything.
They've had to make up stuff for them to do because them doing normal things. They went to meet a tribe called the Micmac tribe, which is obviously made up. what these guys... They make their own mints, so what you need to do is get a tic-tac knick-knack from the Micmac.
Micmac sounds like they're half Irish, half Scottish, doesn't it?
I tell you, they're heavy drinkers.
He even landed a plane on a lake, and he made that look dull.
But they said that it was amazing that he landed a plane on a lake because there's only a handful of British people can actually do that. I think, yeah, because we haven't all got helicopters. It was a helicopter, wasn't it? We haven't all got lakes or helicopters. I can reverse park a Micra.
They had a holiday during the middle of this tour. I was thinking, when they have a holiday, how do they know they're having a holiday? What's the difference between holiday and work? The only difference is, at the end of the day, when they're working, they go, oh, bloody hell, I'm really tired of unveiling stuff. My unveiling finger's really... Oh, dear, if I have to lift another tiny little flag over a plaque.
That's the other thing as well. They're praising them for doing ordinary. Oh, it's amazing how Kate, she just went up to this girl and talked to her. As if she was like another human being that spoke the same language. It's amazing.
You can't talk to girls, John, so...
That's why we put the two girls on your team. We thought we'd give you a chance. We've paid women to talk to you.
I've done that.
OK, let's have a look and see if it's up there. Yes, this week, Kate and William have toured Canada. Prince William is a dashing helicopter pilot, a mega-rich heir to the throne with a beautiful wife who commands the affection of an entire nation. If you're watching, William, I have to admit, you're better than me in almost every conceivable way. Well done, Baldy.
He is receding literally by the hour, isn't it? You can just see it as you're going...
He's unveiling his head.
OK, one more story to get. Fingers on buzzers.
Harry Potter.
Ooh, are you excited about it?
Well, my youngest son is. I mean, I'm excited for him, but... yeah, I mean, it's nice, good, clean fun, right?
You say it's clean, but there's a raunchy kiss,
Apparently so, yeah, apparently.
Emma Watson says this is the most anticipated kiss in history, which is bullshit.
But it's such a huge obsession for people. I mean, I took my youngest son, we went to Universal Studios, and you can kind of get your head around it when it's like an 11-year-old wanting to wear the, you know, Hogwarts cape and the tie and buying the wand and getting on the ride with all the gear. I mean, it's a bit weird, but, you know, you've got grown-up people. I mean, there's a certain type of person that goes to theme parks as a grown-up on their own, I think. It's
Pedo.
But there's these adults in all the gear, and they're screaming and shouting on the ride, because you sit on a bank of, like, 4, one extra than this, and they're, you know, these grown-ups are going, yeah, man, woo, let's go, come on, Harry, and you're looking at these people thinking, why? I mean, it's just the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's a real come-down for the actors, though, isn't it? Because their lives aren't going to be as glamorous, you know, because the special effects in Panto aren't that great. They're going, Daniel, when you fly, Big Dave's going to pull on the rope. And you have to make the whooshing noise yourself. OK, so Big Dave... He's going to spend that 48 million, and in 20 years' time, he's with the Chuckle Brothers and Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe was asked what advice he would give to his younger self, and he said, don't try too hard to be something you're not, which is the essence of acting.
If I could go back and talk to my younger self, I'd say, don't worry about anything. In the future, you invent a time machine.
It is bad news for British industry, because one of the things you have to credit J.K. Rowling with, she insisted the films be made in this country. So all those films, largely, British crew worked on them,
well,
British production houses.
Well, maybe she should write another. She should string it out a bit. That would be a good thing.
No, she didn't.
Well,
you know she didn't write it, don't you? You know that, don't you?
Is it?
It's a biography. She met this guy called Harry Potter. He was working in a coffee shop, and she just basically wrote down his life story.
Is it really a true?
Yeah, it's true story. Even the bit at the end Even the bit at the end.
The bit with the thing with the guy?
Yeah, you know how he dies from the eats the peanut? It turns out all along he had a peanut allergy.
Let's have a look and see what Harry Potter is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, the premiere for the final Harry Potter film was last night. The baddie in Harry Potter is referred to as he who must not be named, presumably because he's shagging Ryan Giggs' sister-in-law. So the other round, Sean, Bear and Chris have 1 point. John, Patsy and Sarah have 2. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats. Our next round is Pick of the Polls. Sean, Bear and Chris, your turn first. What do you like the look of?
Well, we've got Bear Grylls on, so we'll go for the man trying to start a fire.
OK, here is your question. Most people believe they could survive alone for a week in the wilderness. True or false?
They probably believe it, but they probably wouldn't.
Yeah, but I would.
I've watched nearly all of your shows. I am genuinely a massive fan. I've watched nearly all your shows, and it seems like nothing can't be solved by drinking your own piss.
It's very overrated, drinking your own pee.
All right,
The worst one I had was I'd killed this snake in the desert and I skinned it, and I thought I'd pee inside the skin and keep it as like a water bottle around my neck. And then about a day later, after being kind of in the heat of the desert, and I drank it, and it was like mix all the snake innards, and I thought this really is a bad cocktail.
Drinking your own urine is meant to be good for you. Nonsense. I put my back out.
My favourite episode of your show was when you literally just got out of your helicopter. But you got over it, you walked down the hill, you found some bear poo, and you got a bit of apple out of it. And you went, oh, yeah, apple. And you washed it with your water. And you ate it immediately. I thought, you've just got off your helicopter! How are you already home? Put it in your bag!
Chris, if you think that's bad, have a look at this.
In hot climates, if you try to walk in the heat of the day with no water, you may last no more than 4 hours. But if it's a choice between life and death, there's a survival trick I was shown by an old ranger. One thing you can do if you're stuck out here with no water source at all is actually drink the fluid from a fresh elephant dung. Pretty disgusting, but it could save your life. It's a real last resort. There can be harmful bacteria in that water, but if you have nothing else to drink, it could buy you extra time.
The worst bit was when that lump actually did drop off, and then that wasn't meant to happen.
That was the worst bit about drinking the dung water.
It was a ranger who told me this, but I always think of the ranger. I bet he's seen it now on TV and go, that idiot, you believe me?
It seems like an unnecessary step. I've actually written a survival book. And it's real. The unique feature about my survival book is it's edible. There it goes. Day 1, eat page 1. Eat page 2. Page 9, don't eat this, it's poisonous.
You never seem to make any puddings. That's what always bothers me. It's always, well, I understand that you can, eat a squirrel or whatever, or, suck something's poo, but there's nothing similar to angel delight.
What's the worst thing you've eaten to stay alive?
The worst is probably raw goat's testicles, or actually, no, big yak eyeballs was bad. No, actually, the camel intestinal fluids from a camel intestines, that was the worst.
I think the eyeball would be worse for me because it'd be looking at you.
Being difficult to get down. The amazing thing is it doesn't really digest, so when it comes out the other end, if it's it's...
What wouldn't you do then? Would you, like those guys that went down, the plane went down in the Andes and they had to eat each other, would you eat another human being to stay alive?
What a question, I mean, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean,
you definitely would.
Yes.
It's not a difficult question. I think most of us go, no, I wouldn't. I'd rather die. It's a difficult question if you're a maniac.
If I was with my kids and I died, I think I'd want my kids to eat me if it kept them alive.
OK, so what do you think? Most people think they could survive alone for a week in the wilderness, true or false?
Yeah, I think kind of people are, see it and they'd be excited to give it a go, so I think people would hope that they'd be able to survive.
OK, and what do you think?
I think yes.
I think most people would think that they could. I think true.
We think yes, true.
I can tell you the answer is true. 63% of people think they could survive for a week in the wilderness. If I was lost in the wilderness, I'd stay warm by shaking with fear, and I'd get water by drinking my own endless stream of tears. Easy. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your first one. Best way to mend a broken heart.
Kill again.
What you do is you can take your passport, go to the airport, you get on the first flight, you arrive in Leeds, you phone around and go, "Ha! I'm in Leeds! Yeah! Dream on, baby." You start again. If I can make it here, I can make it anywhere.
Best way to mend a broken heart.
Eat cholesterol-lowering foods.
No.
It's a practical survival guide.
Is it eat trifle with your hands?
Can I ask, in all seriousness, have you eaten trifle with your hands?
Yeah.
How is it better than with cutlery?
There wasn't any cutlery. It wasn't by choice, John.
How is there trifle and not cutlery? What world do you...
They'd got one, and I couldn't wait till I got in.
Finish it.
I got the most of it in.
There must be a point when you've kind of had enough and you're just covered in trifle and you've got half a trifle left. You sing, "Oh, no."
In the old days, someone to get over a broken heart would join the Foreign Legion to forget.
Yes.
And I split up with someone once. I wasn't that fussed, so I just became a community support officer. To forget, Brian.
Is it have sex with a much younger man? Just guessing.
I tried that, and if anything, it made it worse.
I'll give you a clue. You were quite close with the going to Leeds thing.
Find yourself, like, gap year, travelling, backpacking.
I'll give you that. Near enough, yes. Yes, the best way to mend a broken heart is to go on holiday. I remember I was heartbroken after my relationship with Keira Knightley ended. I guess it was my fault, because I was seeing Halle Berry behind Keira's back, and the stress of keeping both those relationships from Megan Fox got too much for me. So I went away on a little holiday, which my family booked for me using 2 doctors and a magistrate. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean's team have 3 points, John's team have 3 points, which means it's a draw. Everyone's a winner. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and for all of you for watching at home. If you want more, tune in to 8 out of 10 Cats Uncut on Wednesday. That's it from us. Good night.